Oh, look, we're gonna get Deborah. I think there's gonna be a nice wide shot here.
Yeah, both of you guys get together, sit on the bench right there.
I'm gonna get the bench in the
Quick,
shot.
no people are coming. This is a mud dauber wasp, or otherwise known as an organ pipe wasp.
Oh,
It's
wow.
usually in the south, but you find them up here too. So an individual wasp will build this line of tubes, and there'll be eggs inside, and the holes are there from when in the spring the little baby wasps came out.
Wow.
And then this nest is abandoned. Like, they're not going to come back into this nest again. And they're not really aggressive. They're a single wasp. I've had these on my own front door.
There's quite a few things here. I'm gonna try this shot. Like this. And then get the top of the building. See that?
Here's Trenton. Here's like the Delaware and Raritan Canal going towards Lambertville. This Crosswicks Creek comes off of the Delaware River, and we're here. And there was a mill, and that's what this town was about. And this guy, Waln, was an anti-slavery guy who was a Quaker, and he founded this town based on this mill.
Wow. I want to capture the door. Wow. Oh, look at this. A carriage? This is cool. Good picture. Step back a little and get the whole thing. And this lens is just wide enough. 28 millimeters. Ooh, I'm gonna reduce the shutter speed because it's darker here. This way the ISO drops. Just gotta be steady. But this way the image is a bit cleaner.
It almost looks like a slipper bathtub.
'Cause right now ISO is like 5000. I dropped the shutter to like 1/60th, and ISO is 1000 instead of like 5. Very old house. Maybe like this. With the door. I want to get the door in.
Yeah, the front hall and the kitchen are still open. They're far, far away from the damage on this side.
Right after this, we're going to do the scenic drive.
Oh,
The byway. So
the
we just follow
byway.
the signs, right?
These are drives with all old historic sites. So right now you're on the orange route.
Oh, how
That's
nice.
us right there.
Okay,
So
great.
take that.
Oh, thank you. 1773,
Wow.
largest existing pre-revolutionary home in Monmouth County. And the caretaker's cottage added to the rear of the house in 1910.
So it's over 260 years.
What was this used for?
This is a spinning wheel to make thread.
Yeah.
I want to get the portrait as well.
You'd sit, and sometimes there was a foot pedal.
I want to get a picture of this house itself with the little leaves in foreground.
I don't want to.
Yeah, we're gonna go. But that's where the wheel was,
It
right?
must have been here, right?
Yeah, it used to be a wheel here. And maybe a shot like this. I don't see anything here. Look at that.
See, they would grind the grain.
Oh, with
Water
this.
provides the power to turn the different cogs, and then you end up with these grindstones here.
The
So
channel.
see these chutes?
Uh-huh.
The grain is coming down. There's a grindstone on the ground. See
Oh,
the
wow,
grindstone?
yeah.
And then once it's ground, it gets fed through more hoppers down into the lower level of the mill where it's processed. Talking about the gears, and those are turning the grindstones
That's the
below.
sack. They fill the sacks.
Right. So it's pouring the grain down, and this is turning the grindstones, and then at the very end, it goes down to the lower level after it's ground. It was replaced at the end of the 18th century by Oliver Evans' patented automated system. Now water power and gravity move the grist and meal with elevators and spouts through the 4 floors of the mill. The elevators contain endless belts of canvas, with metal cups attached at regular intervals to scoop up the grain, meal, feed, or flour. These belts move continuously around upper and lower pulleys turned on shafts driven by the turbine. Gravity pulled the material back down the spouts.
Wow.
Slower, you'll be fine.
This is a cool shot with the ladder. She's gotta stay still.
I called Enrico about Labor Day weekend. He brought up in passing that he
You
was
get
going to
Deborah?
see, next week is
Ah, look at this. So this is a cob crusher
Hello,
that
she's gonna be
grinds
alone. She's gonna
corn,
be
ears of
alone.
corn for animal
What
feed.
do you mean?
Oh,
And they go into the top of the cob crusher on up above, and then it coarsely grinds
you
into
should be
cob
there. She
meal.
can pick you
And then an elevator carries that to a bin on the second floor.
so the wheel
And
is
so
sub.
the turbine is turning this shaft,
Yeah, and everything
which is
runs off
then
of that
everything
one shaft.
is connected to this.
So it's, the wheel is submerged.
Submerged and flat,
Submerged.
not vertical. Over time. So this is the Hearst frame.
Oh, so this was the wheel that was submerged. Oh wow.
The Ridson turbine.
Let's take a picture.
That must have been hard to cast.
Okay, instead of replacing the water wheel after it burned down, instead of replacing the water wheel, she ultimately chose a turbine.
Turbine.
A
Wow.
water turbine ran all the equipment, transferring the power from the water in the creek to a straight 30-foot shaft that ran from the turbine to the top of the building. As that vertical shaft rotated, gears transferred the water power to the millstones, line shafts, pulleys, and belts, driving machinery on each level. And it was in operation until 1918. So Ridson Company in Mount Holly, New Jersey, perfected and patented this simple cast iron mixed flow reaction turbine. This design directed the flow of water inward, backward, and downward through the turbine, rotating the vertical shaft at the top. It transferred the energy from the water to the 4 floors of milling and chimney. Submerged turbine required less maintenance and more power than a water wheel.